Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Great to have you watching the video today. Been doing quite a lot of content recently because we're in January 2025 here, and new product launch coming from Ping, coming from all the big companies, Mizuno, Cobra, TaylorMade, Callaway, everybody, Titleist. This is the time of year when they released all the new models. It coincides with the big trade show, which is on about now in Orlando in Florida, the PGA Golf Show. And good time of year to do it, isn't it? So you can get your new clubs now, get them ready for the start of the new season. So today's video is all about the Ping G440 driver. G440 driver is replacing the G430 driver. Let's tell you a little bit about just before I babble on, I had a guy saying the other day, he said 11 minutes 55 seconds before you hit a golf ball. And I'm like, yeah, because I was talking about the tech and the spec and how this new club was made and everything. So if you're not interested in all of this stuff, how the club's changed, how it's made, advance the video on about 5-6 minutes and you'll get to the hitting. I'll leave that one with you. So replacement for the G430, which was for me, and I think for Ping, their biggest success ever with a driver. Fantastic driver, still in the range. This is the interesting thing with Ping, certainly here in the UK. I'm not sure about how it works in other countries. When they launch a new driver, this does not automatically disappear. It will stay in the range, I guess, until the stock runs out of it, and it will slowly dwindle out. I don't keep stock of the G430 anymore. All the fitting heads, they've all gone, and I'm just going down with the G440. So let's talk to you. Just like there was on the 430, we've got the 4 different heads. Ping have not strayed away from this model for quite some time now, and I think you'll see why. So we start with the G440 Max. This is where the majority of the sales will come from. Think of this as a fairly neutral head. It has the shifter at the back, which you can put into fade and draw, as has been on previous models. So you can give it that draw or fade influence. But it's mainly designed to be the most, as you can see here, the most forgiving driver and the lowest CG ever. It's got this hotter face, lighter overall system weight, and a longer shaft, generating faster ball speeds for big distance. Now, in most of their stock shafts, they've gone from 45 3/4 inches to 46. I've never been a big fan of longer shafts. I'll put that on the table now, and I'll say that in a lot of my previous videos. I can see why they do it, because the longer shaft's going to help you create a little bit more club speed, which will in turn give you a bit more ball speed. But it can have a big effect on dispersion. The thing to think about is, why do so many tour players use shorter shaft drivers? They'll range anywhere between sort of 44 inches. Often the standard's around about 45 1/4. You do see some tour players using longer shafted drivers, but not that many. And the reason tour players use drivers which are a bit shorter is, they say, not me, that it means they can hit the middle of the club more often. So the best players in the world are using shorter shafted drivers, but I get why Ping and other companies are using longer shafts to help you get that little bit more distance. But will it sacrifice dispersion? I guess that depends who's on the end of the shaft. Anyway, we'll park that one for a minute. We go from the Max and we go to the LST. LST stands for low spin technology, especially good for players with faster swing speeds, providing lower spin and more control. Been in the range for ages, and normally the LST in the past used to cost more money because it had the full carbon crown, but all the Maxes now have the full carbon crown. We'll come back to that in a minute. Then we go to the one that's really popular for a lot of my golfers that I teach and fit. This is the SFT, which stands for straight flight technology. It's a very heavily draw biased driver. We've got 2 weights which are more towards the heel, and we can go for draw or more draw. And this weight moving into the heel of the club does have a significant effect on stopping the ball going to the right for a right-handed golfer. Now, it won't cure a slice. Don't be fooled by this. If you're a sort of golfer who gets to the top and sends the club way over the top with the face open, it could minimize that, but it ain't going to change a slicer into a drawer overnight, but it does have some big effects. It's very, very good. It's for golfers in need of slice correction. I like that. SFT offers a draw inducing adjustable back weight to bring shots back into the fairway, and it does. And I've done loads of fittings with SF Tech and it does work. And then we've got the high launch driver. Basically it's a Max just with a lighter weight in the back. The lightest overall system weight, back weight, shaft and grip helps slower swing speed golfers generate faster club head speeds. The question I think everyone's asking at the moment, well not everyone, me and a few others, will they bring out another 10K version of this? This came to the party, this was quite contentious in the G430, the 10K came to the party quite late on, about a year in to the 430 story, and it upset a lot of people who had bought the Max. So I don't think they will bring out a 10K version because all of these drivers probably hit 10K anyway. There wasn't that much difference, I don't think, in performance between the 10K and the Max. I didn't see it, it was just a price differential. Do you want to have a quick look at shafts? Well, we're looking at specs. Let's go into this here and see if we can get you into, bear with, computer's running a little bit slow here. Okay, let's scroll down, and if you want to get loads of sort of techie specky stuff here, then jump onto the Ping web. I'm not going through all this. There's loads of stuff in there which tells you more of the changes about from the 430. Just have a quick look at the shaft options here. We've still got the good old Alta CB. This time it's called the CB50 Blue. We've got soft regular, regular and stiff and extra stiff. 51 grams in the regular, and then we've got CDOS in the 430, the Tour Chrome and the Tour Black. The Tour Black's a real low spinning shaft, generally better for higher club speeds, but these are all new shafts for this club. We got the Mitsubishi Tensei Black, which is again a low to mid launching shaft, a Project X Denali Red, which is a high launching shaft, and the Project X Denali Red 60, which is a mid to high. And then down at the bottom, amazing shaft for slower club speeds. If you're one of the golfers who's struggling a bit with speed, a 35 and a 45 gram, well, they're actually 38 and 45 Ultra Quick shaft, which really does help you get some more club speed. Let's go and hit some. Okay, everybody, time to put this new G440 through its paces. So the first thing we've got to find out about this driver is it as good as the 430 was? That's the first question to answer. And then second question, is it any better? Now, normally what I do in these tests previously is I put together G430 Max in some previous videos, stiff shaft in there, hit it as hard as I can, see how far it carries. That's all good fun, isn't it? But that's not relevant to what you golfers out there watching this might do. So we're going to mix it up a little bit today. I'm going to start with the G440 SFT Straight Flight Technology, and I'm going to try and swing out to in, over the top, whatever you want to call that, with the face open to the path. So let's just describe that to you. I'm going to get the club to the top, and then I'm going to send the club out and then in, exiting left, with the club face open to that path. This is what a typical slicer would do when you hit that ball and it starts left of target and then finishes on target or finishes right of target. So this driver is specifically designed to try and combat that, take off some of the side spin and keep the ball on the fairway. So I've got here the G440 SFT 10.5 degree. I've got the regular Alta CB shaft, details down below, and I've got it set to the heavy draw. Now you'll have to forgive me because I'm a natural drawer of the ball, so this is the polar opposite of what I would do, but I'll try my best. 46-inch long shaft in this. It does feel kind of long. I'm going to open the stance up and swing it over the top, try and keep the club face open. We'll get varying speeds and we'll see if this thing stays on the fairway. So we'll show you the numbers. Just about held onto right edge, that one. Massive amount of curvature on the ball. So what I've done there is swung at 98 miles an hour. I've swung the club exiting at nearly 7 degrees at impact out to in or left, with the face 12.5 degrees open to the path. So that's generating lots of launch angle, lots of side spin, but the ball is just about held onto the right edge of the fairway, and I've got 190 yards of carry on that one. So it did manage just about to do what it was supposed to do. Let's try that again. I'm aiming, and this is what some slicers do, they just aim more to the left to play for that. So let's go for a little bit more. So I'll try and take some club speed off this one. Oh, chopped right across that. That's probably an extreme example. I don't think any club in the world could help that one. But anyway, we'll leave it in there. This is me being a little bit silly. I've gone 10.5 out to in with the club face 20 degrees open. 6,600 revs of backspin. I think that's a little bit unfair on this golf club to make it that bad. That's only gone 146 through the air. Let's do one somewhere in the middle of those. I think that's a good representation. That looked like it was going to start to get to the top of its ball flight and then go massively to the right, but it's actually done really well. So I'm 4 degrees out to in, 8.5 open, spinning it up like crazy, but I've still managed to get a 195 carry, 213 run out on that. So look at the strike locations on these as well. Hopefully the camera will pick this up. See how I'm catching these right out the heel. So really necky strikes. So that just shows you that the sweet spot on this club is very forgiving. And that's not a great delivery, but I'm nearly 215 yards on the fairway. So that's the SFT. That will suit you golfers out there who swing a little bit out to in with the face open and deliver that sort of strike pattern. It will definitely help you keep the ball on the fairway. Let's swap this out and go to the Max. Okay, swap the heads over, gone to the G440 Max, 10.5 degree, gone with the Alta CB in stiff this time, details down below. Let's take some time out to have a little overhead and closer look at the cosmetics and the design of the club. So Ping have gone back here to the blue and black, which we saw first of all, let me think, in the G30, and the G was sort of the blue and the black, and I quite like it. I think it's very classy. Obviously we've got the blue accents on the shaft, we've got the very plain head, we've still got the turbulators on there, we've got full carbon crown now, which we only saw on the LS Tech. So the reason that Ping have gone down this route of getting the full carbon crown is to save weight. Golf designers love it when they can save weight with it on the crown and then reposition the weight more internally. This helps with the CG, the centre of gravity, it helps with the MOI, the forgiveness and all the rest of it. And that's why we've seen an increase in price this year, because they've gone to the full carbon on the head, which obviously increases the cost. It looks from above, looks great, you know, not too much there to catch the eye. The turbulators are still strong. For those of you not familiar with the turbulators, these little fins on the top help increase club speed, 2 to 3 miles an hour. It's not a lot, but you know, that could be another 4 or 5 yards of distance. So shall we hit the Max and see what we get? So, just forgive me, I'm not making excuses here, but got a stiff back this morning, but that's no excuse. Can't use that old chestnut to make up for the bad shots I'm going to hit. Nice. That was okay. Strike there was a little bit, you'll see the strike on this one. I think this is it. Slightly high on the club face, just here. Got, oh, excuse me, 101 club speed, 139 ball speed. 15 degree launch, 2391 spin, carry was 237, total distance predicted 261. So yeah, that was okay. That was all right. I can live with that. 260 odd yards down the fairway. How does it feel? Excuse me. How does it feel? How does it sound? It sounds very similar to the G430. Definitely a massive improvement on G425 for sound, which was a great driver but a little bit noisy. I'm coming to the big question you all want to know a little bit. Let's go one more. Stock shaft in this, L to CB. Again, great. That was a little bit more centered on the strike. Got a feeling this shaft may just be spinning the ball up a little bit more for me than I want. This is where I'd start playing around with different shafts. So spin here just under 3,000 from a 102 club speed, 139 ball speed. So not particularly efficient on that. And I think this shaft in the stiff, in the L to CB, just feel a little bit kicky, a little bit whippy for me. 233 carry, running out to 255. So if I was taking myself through a full custom fit process here, I'd pop this shaft out and put something a little bit stiffer in there, maybe with a slightly higher kick point, because if I could get that spin rate down to sort of 2,000, I could push that carry up towards around 245, maybe 250 at a push. So this shaft, not quite the one for me, but the head feels great. It feels very stable. It feels like I could hit this all over the club face and get away with it. So there's the Max. Let's now do the LST driver and see if I can get these numbers down and get some more yardage. So the final one to test today is the LST low spin technology. 450cc head this as opposed to 460 in the SF Tech and in the Max, so very slightly smaller, but you don't really see much difference from above. I've changed to the Tensai black shaft in here in a stiff 65, which is a lower launching. This is a 9-degree head, which I've just lofted up to 10. So let's just see how we go with this. See if we can get those spins down a little bit. That was a slightly toey strike, that one. I'm not sure if that will do much for us. Oh, take that back. It did. Sometimes those toe strikes, that was really interesting. The club speed was down about 3 miles an hour to 98. I did catch it definitely a little bit high toe, and you get this like knuckleball effect sometimes with that. Launched at nearly 17 but spun at 1638. That gave me a 241 carry. Predicted run out, dependent on ground conditions, was 270. And again, that was a lovely forgiving result from what wasn't a great swing. Yeah, another one, bit low on the club face there. Bit sort of necky, really. It's not a great swing, but again, good result. Another fairway found. Big drop off on yardage there due to the strike, but you know, I've got it out there like 260 from a poor strike. That was a little better on the strike, but didn't quite get the release on the club. So I'm having to work this club a little bit more, and I don't think I've done it quite justice yet, but you can see how the spin rate's really dropping off with this shaft. And you know, you look at my dispersion over here, little black dots here are where we're finishing, so we're hitting lots of fairways, and I'm not quite getting up to speed here, but we'll try one more. Ooh, went for the big draw on that one and just about got away with that. So I think with a little bit more work on, get a spin on this, 1358. I think with a little bit more work on this and some better swings, I think I could really, I'd experiment with a couple of the other shafts. I could really get this low spin head working, but it's very, very accurate. These ones here were with a couple with the Maxes, but the black ones here, I'd take all of those. So what do we think of the G440 driver? Is it as good as 430? Without a doubt. Is it better? That's the difficult question to answer. It's definitely as good. I don't think it's going to go any further because it can't, because We're using the same technology, really. You know, the ball speed has to be restricted coming off the face. Manufacturers can't make clubs where the ball's going to jump off there faster. They can't do it. Is it as forgiving as the 430? Yes, it is. Is it more forgiving than the 430? Possibly, but I can't. It's very hard to prove that unless you've got a robot to do it. I love the sound of it. I love the look of it. Price-wise, I was doing 430 at 469 for most of its lifespan. This is at 525. The reason it's taken a jump, as I've mentioned many times, is that it's got this full carbon crown now, which has accelerated the price. So 525, I think that's a lot of money. I really do. I'm disappointed we couldn't be keeping this under £500. For me, that's kind of like a figure I don't like to break through. But the going rate seems to be on the internet in the UK, 525. It's in line with the Callaway and the TaylorMade driver, so the price is what it is, but it's a lot of money. It's a great driver. If you were using a G400, a G410 or a G425, I would pretty much guarantee that you're going to see some improvement in 440 in terms of maybe a little bit more yardage, but certainly a little bit more forgiveness and dispersion control. If you've got 430 and you're going to change, I would recommend you go to your fitting centre and put the two head to head. And if you only see a gain of 5 yards or no gain at all, then I think you'd be crazy to spend £525 on it for no gain. But then sometimes people just want the latest model. You know, it's a bit like cars and computers and watches. People just want to spend money because they enjoy spending money on the golf clubs and they've got that money to spend, so good on you. But go and get fitted. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate your time. If you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. And if you like the video, maybe give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, all that sort of stuff. Bye for now.